So the dust has settled after the big announcement yesterday by NVIDIA about the upcoming RTX 2070, 2080 and 2080 Ti. The 2080 and 2080 Ti are coming in September. You can order 2 per person on the NVIDIA website, and I believe they will be available for sale on other shops very soon as well. What I did yesterday was a quick video talking about the price and specifications, and then I did like a 2-3 hour live stream. And what I'd like to do in this video is just kind of clarify my thoughts and talk about these cards and how they affect miners and cryptocurrency. I will be going over a lot of what we talked about last night in the live stream. So yeah, I thought I'd clarify it in a quick video. Firstly, thanks to everyone who tuned into the live stream. It was a lot of fun talking about this last night. Thanks to everyone who commented, and many thanks to Marcius who joined me on the stream, and we're talking about the cards, ASIC miners and a lot of other things. So, forgetting about specs for a second, let's talk about power. These cards are a little bit, well, the 2080 Ti is about the same, but the other cards are actually a little bit hungrier than the equivalent in the 10 series. The 2070 is around 185 watts. The 2080 is around 220, 225. The 2080 Ti is about 250, 260, which is kind of what the 1080 Ti was. From a price point of view, from a specifications point of view, it's a little bit different. Earlier reports stated that the 2080 is going to be around 20 to 25% more than a 1080 Ti. And, that's guessing, from a performance point of view. The 2080 Ti, from a mining point of view, this is the thing, I was thinking about doing a video and, I'm seeing a lot of articles, I'm seeing a lot of videos, and people are comparing the CUDA cores, and they're looking at the memory, and they're looking at what's changed from last year. So you can kind of make a guess at what these hash rates will be. I was thinking about doing a video like that, but to be honest, it would just be that. It would just be a guess. And I think we need to wait to, a miner, some sort of cryptocurrency YouTuber gets their hand on one of these cards and then test them in many different algorithms, and we'll get an idea of what these cards can do from a hash rate point of view. So at this point, my guess is maybe a 2070, maybe it'll be the equivalent of maybe a little bit better than the previous generation 1080, I don't know. The 2080 looks like it's going to be a little bit better than a 2080 Ti, but slightly more efficient, not by a huge amount, from a power point of view, but a little bit more. And the 2080 Ti, I don't know, it could be 40% more, we don't know at this point. Lots of people are saying different figures. I've seen different articles and different discussions. People are saying different things. And bear in mind as well, some algorithms rely more on memory, others rely more on the CUDA cores and things like that. So it will depend on the algorithm that you're mining. You might find that these cards are good at certain algorithms and not others. It's important to note as well that it might be a while before cryptocurrency miners actually get the most out of these cards. Maybe this, GDDR6 or GDDRX6, maybe this new memory can do things that the previous generations couldn't, and maybe we will see mining applications take advantage of that in the future. But for now, I don't think that's there. So the biggest sticking point, we're talking about performance, we're talking about power usage and all that, but I think the biggest discussion last night in the live stream, and the biggest discussion that's going around in all the cryptocurrency discords, is price. These cards are expensive, much more expensive than their 10 series equivalent. And this is going to be a big sticking point. It's going to be a major block for any cryptocurrency miner who wants to buy these cards. But it also affects gamers as well. If I'm thinking about this from a gaming point of view, in the UK, the 2080 Ti, yes, it's going to be more efficient than my 1080 Ti's. But at £1,100, and this is for the Founders Edition. The Founders Edition is normally the one that's the cheapest, but it's also the one that's normally the noisiest, and it's also the one that's normally the hottest. Some of these cards, coming out from Asus and EVGA later on, they could be $1,200, £1,400, and it's the same in the USA, $1,200 retail, and the same in Europe as well. These prices are insane. They really are insane. And from a mining point of view, yes, you could get, in the UK, I could maybe buy this card and get a 40% increase over a 1080 Ti. But if a 2080 is going to be retail at, £750, what's it going to be, what are 1080 Ti's going to be retail? If you can still pick those up, I do realise they normally try and stop selling those, but you will be able to pick up 1080 Ti's maybe 500, 400, 500. I don't know yet. The used market is going to change. In fact, I've looked at some prices already that are changing in second-hand stores and things like that. A lot of people will start selling their cards. And the point I'm trying to make is this 2080 Ti might give you a 40% boost, maybe even a 45% boost. Let's, give them the benefit of the doubt and say it gives you a 45% boost over a 1080 Ti. But it's going to be twice the price. Now, of course, if you got a 40% boost, comparing it to two 1080 Ti's, you're not going to use as much power. So from a power point of view, yes, you can get a 40% boost and use the same electricity. But from a hash rate point of view, you could probably get two 1080 Ti's cheaper than you can buy one 2080 Ti. That's what I think is going to happen in September. Now, that situation could change if we enter a bull run, if GPUs start becoming scarce again. And from a value point of view, maybe people will start, maybe the value of 1080 Ti's are going to remain high because of that. I've seen a few people saying that because these cards have been priced so highly, the prices of 10 series cards might actually be a little bit higher than they thought we thought they would be. I think if you've got money to spend right now and you want to buy a GPU for cryptocurrency mining, I think it's a hard sell. I think the smart money, especially in this market right now where, break-even points, you're talking about getting your return on your investment in 15 months or even longer. Could be even longer than that, if the market stayed the same. Don't think it will, but, if the market does stay the same, if you're being prudent. And in this environment where you always have to consider the break-even point of getting, return on your investment, it's hard to justify paying so much for these cards. It really is hard. And, if you really want a GPU, I think the smart money is to buy second-hand 10 series cards. Or if you really want to buy retail, perhaps wait until you see some of these 10 series cards being knocked down by a significant amount by retailers. That's if you want to be, if you want to buy a GPU. But again, this raises the question. The situation is very different from a year ago. We're seeing many more ASIC miners in the market. We're seeing FPGAs coming out in the market. And now we're seeing a lot of coins have got masternodes. So you've got $1,000, you've got $5,000, you've got $10,000. What's the smart move here? Is it in, just buying the coins directly? Is it putting it into masternodes? Should you buy these GPUs at this high price and, just hope that you get your investment back in a year? Do you put it into ASICs? Do you put it into FPGAs? I'm not saying I know the right answer to all this because there's so many unknown factors. But what I do think is that the landscape is different from a year ago. There's a lot of different options out there. I think in the current environment, there's a very good argument in just using any money that you would be using to buy hardware and just buying the coins that you want in a project that you like. Or, if it's got a masternode, buy the coins and put it into a masternode and try and, bring coins in every single day. If you do want to buy hardware, if you do want to buy mining hardware, you're going to have to look at FPGAs and you're going to have to look at ASIC miners. Forget this whole ASIC miners versus GPU miners thing right now. Just think about it from an investment point of view, and you do have to think about that. If, we were talking about this last night in the stream as well, you could buy a GPU for a coin and a few months down the line an ASIC miner is released and that coin might not fork. One of the there's no guarantee of that, that's the point of that, but one of the positives of GPUs is they are very versatile. They can do pretty much every algorithm. Of course, there's ASICs out there that can do those algorithms much better, but they can't do everything, and GPUs are versatile. Personally, right now, I don't think I'm going to sell my cards. I think I'm going to keep my cards for another, I don't know. If the market goes up, I could find that my GPUs become very profitable again. And, right now I'm covering electricity costs, I think, if I looked at the values. But yeah, for me right now, if you've got cards, you have to review this. You have to look at used prices and look at whether you should sell right now and perhaps put those, the money that you make into buying coins. Just keep it in fiat till you buy something else later. That's what my friend's going to do. I think he's going to just sell his cards and then just keep it in fiat or Bitcoin and then buy some ASIC miners later. But to go back to the RTX 2070, 2080, 2080 Ti, a lot of people are asking for hash rates. We don't know them. There are estimates out there, and people are looking at the memory and the CUDA cores and all these other things, the clock speed and all this, and they're making educated guesses on what we should see. But what is clear is that if you look at all these educated guesses and all these estimates as to what these hash rates will be, the price increase that NVIDIA has put out there, for these cards, it's hard to justify if these hash rates, this jump in hash rates are going to be right. It's hard to justify a 40% increase in hash rate if you're paying twice the price. And as I said, from a gaming point of view as well, and gamers will influence what happens as well. Gamers, I like gaming as well. I've got PC games, I've got console games and all that. But for me in the UK, at £1,100, for the price of that, I could buy a PS4 Pro, an Xbox One, perhaps even a Switch, and maybe even have enough left to buy a television for that one card. And for that one card, it's not like a card can play games on its own. You still need the hard drive, the motherboard, the RAM, the power supply, all these other components, the fans, and you need a monitor. So even for gamers, this increase in pricing is going to be hard to justify. And from a gamer's point of view, would you not rather buy an older 1080 Ti or an older 1080 that's just a few £100 or a few $100 rather than spending over $1,000? These are the questions that people will be asking. So my overall thoughts on the RTX 2070, 2080, 2080 Ti. These cards look fantastic from a gaming point of view. They look fantastic from a mining point of view because they are more efficient and their hash rates will be better than their 10 series equivalent. But NVIDIA have pushed the price up of all these cards by a significant amount, by a huge amount. And this is only the Founders Edition cards. The other cards that come out that are overclocked and all that, those ones will be even more expensive. I think from that point of view, yes, the hash rates aren't out right now, but if what people are saying, what we expect to see as far as an increase goes, I think that from a mining point of view, these cards could be a poor investment. That's my guess. Could be wrong. As I said, I've said this many times, there's a lot of unknown factors, and I'm basing this right now in a bear market when profits in GPU mining are very low. If we enter a bull run, if Bitcoin goes up, and some of my cards right now are barely making a few cents profit or whatever, but in a bull run, those cards could be making a few dollars per day. And then all of a sudden, everything's flipped in its head and everyone's rushing to buy these new cards. So if we entered the bull run, yeah, I'll do another video in a few months because the situation would be very different. But today, in this climate right now, with the profits of GPU mining or the lack of profits in GPU mining, I think the smarter move, if you do want a return on your investment, would be to invest in Bitcoin or a project that you like, that you think is undervalued, or invest in a masternode, or save your money and put it into a new ASIC miner, a batch one ASIC miner, perhaps even save up for an FPGA. But from an investment point of view, I think it's hard to justify buying one of these RTX 2070, 2080 or 2080 Ti's. That's my thoughts on it. I could be wrong, but I think most people think that way as well. The price seems to be the biggest sticking point for everyone. I don't know if this is a tactical thing by NVIDIA, but from a mining point of view, it doesn't seem to be a good investment. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks to everyone again who watched the live stream and watched the video yesterday. I do appreciate all the comments that you posted, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this again. Just, a day after the announcement, we've all had to think about it. We've all had to think about how these cards affect the market. I think we're going to see used 10 series cards go down in price. Maybe not as much as we first thought, but yeah. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Please do leave a comment. Please click like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll speak to you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.